Okay, we discussed yesterday about Kisvei Kodesh. You don't go ahead and divide up because it's a Gnai. And Kedarkai B'Kodesh, Baba Basra, as soon as you mention a topic, they digress to go ahead and discuss the topic. Constant digression, which we never mind at all. So tonight's digression is halachas of Sefer Torah. A lot of halachas, interesting halachas of Sefer Torah. So we're up to the Tanur Rabbanon, about, I'd say, 2, 4, 6, about 15 lines up. Tanur Rabbanon on Yud Gimel Amid Beis. Madbik Adam Torah Nevi'im Ksuvim Ke'echad Divrei Meis. This is a person can, if you have disattached scrolls, you're able to go ahead and attach them together. Torah Nevi'im Ksuvim. Rabbi Yehuda Oimet Torah B'fnei Atzma. You can go ahead and the Torah, Nevi'im B'fnei Atzman, Nevi'im Ksuvim B'fnei Atzma. They're not together. A third shita, every one of them separately. So 3 shitas. The first shita of the Tanakama all together, Rabbi Yehuda, Torah together, Nevi'im together, Ksuvim together, and the Chachamim, none of them together. Each one by itself.
What's the difference between that?
I think it means each one separately. Each one Navi separately. You can't put Nevi'im together.
Oh,
right? You can't put Nevi'im together. They have to be separate. Okay.
that's Torah.
Right? The Torah is not separate. Yeah. Maisa bisus ben zainin. Maisa is with bisus ben zainin, or the basis ben zainin. Shayilu shmeina neviim lubagim ke'echad. He had 8 neviim. There are 8 neviim, as we'll see, and they were all together. Al pi Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah, based upon Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah told him you could put them together. So not like the opinion of the Chachamim, who said they have to be separate. Like the Chachamim. So again, the Maisi corroborates the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda or the opinion of the Chachamim. Rabbi Maisa ve'vi'u lefneinu Torah nevi'im ksuvim medubakim ke'echad yichshirum. They put in front of us, all connected together, and we machshir it. Now, bein chumash lechumash shel Torah is abar shitin. Between each chumash of the Torah, there are 4 shitin. There are 4 between Beis and Shemos, and Shemos Vayikra, Vayikra Bamidbar. There are 4 shitin in between each sefer. 4 shitin. Right? We saw the beginning of Sefta Gittin, right? The 4. Okay, I think 4 times. It was 12 shitin. Okay. Bechein bein kol navi lenavi. So too between each navi. When a navi was written on a klaf, you would have 4 shitin. Ubenavi shel shnei masa gimel shitin. Right, and the Navi Shnei Masa, the Treyasa, 12 Nevi'im, the small Nevi'im, then you have Gimel Shitim, and Messiah Milmata. You would, if you finish one below, Umaskim Milo. In other words, you wouldn't have to leave lines. If it ends at the end, you can begin beginning on the other line. You don't go ahead and leave 3 lines at the top and begin 3 lines down. Tarabana, Haraitza Ledabek Torah Nevi'im Ksuvim Ke'echad. If you want to put them together, attach them together, Medabek. And you go and you make it the beginning of the scroll. Kidei logol amud. So the amud, guys, is what you call the Eitz HaChaim. The Eitz HaChaim. So whatever the Eitz HaChaim, you would leave that amount of parchment that you're going to roll up. You should roll up around that empty area. So you don't start right at the beginning of the klaf. You go ahead and start. You start like in the circumference of the pole. Ubesaifai, and the end kidei logol hayakef. And at the end, when you how much do you leave at the end? That's the amount kidei logol hayakef, the whole scroll. In other words, you have let's say a navi, and navi has 1 pole. It has 1 pole. So you're going to start writing it. You're going to start this much parchment in, which run the pole. When you finish, however, the amount at the end is the amount it would take to cover the circumference of all that klaf that was rolled up. This is by Nevi'im. This is by Nevi'im. And this is when speaking by 1 pole. And again, you conclude in the bottom line, and you begin what in the top line. Ve'im ba lachtoich. And if you want to go ahead, and cut between each sefer and separate them, you'll be able to do that. The Gemara asks, "My kamar Rashi top Rashi Ma'ila Memra. What's the chiddush that you can cut them? Akol moedim dim kol echav v'echav v'atzmei tzvei adif. Everyone, the most stringent shita was the shita of the Chachamim, that you should have it by itself. That seems to be the best thing, to have it by itself. That seems to be the best thing. So so when it says my kama, why did you tell me that to go ahead and to cut? Why do you tell us the chiddush? Shem boy lachtach. The chiddush is shem boy lachtach. After you put the sefer together and you want to cut it in chaytech, and the hasefer chadash yaslu b'rosh hadaf. And Rashi, Haki Kamar, Umastrum el Maila, Lo Yaniach Chelek, Shari Imbo Lachtech Chaytach, Benimsa Ze Roish Hakrach, Ugenai Hulo Ilio Stav Ze Mishuna Mechaber Rachino. So the Chiddush is that you would cut it, that you finish in the bottom and at the top and you cut it. Because if you would leave a space and cut it, then it would be Mishuna. So that's the chiddush over here. The chiddush is Rashi says you begin at the top, and you don't leave a space. You begin at maskum al mile at the top, and you don't leave a space. Because why? If you can leave a space and you're going to cut it, it's going to look strange. So therefore you don't do it. Okay, therefore you don't do it. Okay, urimini. Okay, so guys, we have the beginning is an amud, and the end is a hekef, right? That is the whole thing. Techilas sefer v'seifoi gidei logo. The beginning of the sefer and the end of the sefer. How much do you approximately leave? Gidei logo, the amount that it would take to go ahead and turn. Gidei logo mai. Now, what does gidei logo mean? You have two possibilities: either the pole or the whole cloth. Gidei logo amud. If it's gidei the ogle, the amud, the pole itself, kasha hekef. So you have a kasha hekef, that the end has to be hekef. So in other words, if you're telling me that we're telling me that the beginning and the end have to be the same. So if you're telling me it has to be the same, we have a problem because the end we said it has to be able to cover the whole thing, not just the beginning. And if you're going to tell me that an ikadei logo hekef, and if you're going to tell me that logo, the amount is to cover the whole thing, the whole cloth, kasha amud. Because as we know, we said that amud in the beginning and the hekef in the end. So amud of nachma yitzchak litzdaden ketani. Don't learn it as one thing. Learn it as itzdaden. In other words, don't learn either both hekef or both amud. Learn the beginning amud and the end what? The end hekef. Amud of nachma yitzchak. Rav Ashi Amaki Tanya He b'Sefer Torah. When did you learn this? That's not speaking about a Navi that only has one pole. We're speaking about a Sefer Torah that there's two poles. Kedetanya, Kol Svarim Niglalim Mitchilasan L'Seifan. All Svarim Sifrei Neviim Oksuvim Niglalim, they are rolled from the beginning to their end. The Sefer Torah Niglal Le'amsiyasai, and the Sefer Torah is rolled to the middle. Va'oisulei Amud Eilich ve'Eilich, and therefore what you make it Amud Eilich ve'Eilich. Okay, so this is speaking about a Sefer Torah. It's consistent. It's not Litzdaden. You're right. It's la'amud, and it's speaking about a Sefer Torah. And a Sefer Torah, you begin the amount that it has to go around the Atzei Chayim. So I found a nice Magash I sent out. Guys, you should have it on the phone. Okay, you see Kenny Kuf Tzav Zayin, you see Kuf Tzadik Zayin Kivan?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Okay, this is the reason why a Sefer Torah is in the beginning and a Navi is at the end. It's at the beginning. Sefer Torah is both. Everyone have it? You have it. Yeah. Kivan Shebe Sefer Torah Koirim B'Tzibur. No, it's the other one. I sent you two. Kivan Shebe Sefer Torah Koirim B'Tzibur. The ain goylin Sefer Torah B'Tzibur. Why? If they cover that tzibur. Then who goylolay l'tchilasai nimsa kishikar b'tzibur tzarf l'goylolay ad she'yagil l'makom shepasek. Guys, if every time you're going to turn the Sefer Torah back to Bereshis, when you come to shul, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to wait till go ahead and be goylol to what? To where you're up to. Right, where you're up to. Right. Okay, good. V'karboy ukeshemashlich, and when you mashlim, when you finish, sarach legoyloi mimakim shepasak at shetchilas hasefer lefikach and goylo el b'makim shepasak. So in other words, either way, what you're going to end up, if you can go back to the beginning, you're going to have to go to the makom shepasak, and if makom shepasak you leave it there, right? If you lefikach and goylo el b'makim shepasak, you only go to that place. So guys, that's why it's in the middle. Fellas, you ever wonder? That's why you never wonder. You take it for granted. That's why we go in the middle. We go to the place you're up to because kosobat tircha the tzibur, the cover of the tzibur. Masha'en king, right? V'ro gam chazanish, right? Ach megillah maschilim tamid me haskala. Megillah, you always begin from the beginning. L'chein dai ba'amid echad mitchilasan. Guys, you have a Megillah Esther, right? If you have a wood, you don't have two pieces. You only have one. Yeah. So in Mela, you're always going to finish it. So therefore, it's not tircha. It's not tircha. You always go back to the place you started, right? V'tamid achar kriyasan, you go lo l'tchilasan. The tzarech hakriya ba. You're going to go ahead and bring it back. Now finishes it off. The hanoying likres es haftarah b'neviim. Those that are who read the Sefer Torah mitach klaf, the MS oislam shtei amudim, they make two. May oislam tam shall Sefer Torah, right? That's why the Navi you have two. You have two because if you're learning from the klaf from the Navi, you're also going to need it. So therefore, always begin from the beginning. It's a very, very. I thought it was very, it's a very practical, svardic reason of something that we don't think about. Nice. We again, if we have two only because we learned from a class. But no, they didn't. I don't know if they lane. They had Navi. Only had one. They only had one.
Where was that from? What you just reviewed?
Vishinamton for the Sefer Vishinamton. It's a secondary source. Rabbi Eliezer bar Tzadik, Kacha Yekoisen Sfarim Shebushalayim, Oisin l'Sifreim. The Sfarim Yerushalayim, they were written this way. The Sfarim Kach Koisen Yerushalayim, the people in Yerushalayim, right? That they would be goyel in the middle. That they would be goyel about the Sefer Torah in the middle. Rabbanan. In Oisin Sefer Torah, Loi Archa Yoser al Hakefai. Now, the perfect Sefer Torah, guys, is that the length of the Sefer Torah, the height of the Sefer Torah, is equal to the circumference of the klaf. That's the perfect Torah. That it's not longer than that. In other words, its circumference more than what? Then its length. Shalu Rabbi Shir Sefer Torah B'kama Amalahem B'gvil. If using gevil, then shisha tfachim. Right? Beklaf, bekama, any yadea. Okay, fellas, I think it's important, just for knowledge, there are three types of parchment. There's klaf, there's gvil, and the duchsustus. Three types. What are they? Let's see Tosfos. Remember this Tosfos. This is the Tosfos that explains. We hadn't get into it correct. In Megillah, Gevil shisha tfachim beklaf kama. Now gevil who are shaloi netaking klal. It's a hide that you didn't work at all. Elisha shiru es haseir. All you did was you removed the hair. So you remove the hair, and now it's an unprocessed hide. The kaisim b'makom seir, and you would write on the place of the hair. In other words, there's two sides. There's the side facing the meat and the side facing the outside. And you write on the outside part of the hide. Well, the hach karle gevil. Now this is geschmack, guys. Why was it called gevil? She'enim mitukin, because it wasn't what? It wasn't processed. Kida amar lael gevil avnei delay mishayfen. Remember gevil v'gazis, guys? We began the different dimensions of the different stones. So gevil was what? Gevil was a stone that was not chiseled. So Gevil is a hide, is a hide that wasn't what? That wasn't worked. I say upamim sheklape seir kari klaf. And when you write klape seir, that's called klaf. V'oisei sheklape seir kari klaf. V'oisei shelitzad basar. What does it mean? In other words, if you would take the hide and split it in two, and you write on the part that's facing the hair, that's called klaf. That's what we have. So unfinished hair side, that's gevil. You separate the two hair side, that's what we call klaf. And if you write on the side that's facing the meat, basar kori duchsustus. That's called the suchstus. And here's the etymology of the word. Beloshin duchsustus have a pirushai makom basar. The beloshin madai karin lebasa sustus. The duch hainu makom. So duch sustus, the makom of the meat, the makom of the meat. So again, gevil, klaf, and gazes. Okay. So now, if you're using gevil, it's what the length is going to be 6 tefachim. Klaf, I don't know. Rav Huna Kosab Shivim Sifrei Daraisa. Rav Huna wrote 70 Sifrei Torah. V'yasramili elachad, and he only out of 70, only one of them ended up that the length was equal to the circumference. In other words, again, it's something that this is the mehuder. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Kosab Chad Amoshrei de'iglei. Rav Acha bar Yaakov, he wrote one Sefer Torah on the skin of a calf. And guess what happened? He got exactly right. The height was exact of the circumference. Yovei Rabban al Nayu, they gave him Ayin Hara v'Noich Nafshi and Rav Acha bar Yaakov is Nifta. Guess sometimes it doesn't pay to win at all, right? Again, how did Rav say? 99% of the people in the cemetery die because of Ayin Hara. Amrulei Rabban al Rav Hamnuna. Kosev Rav Ami Dalid Meya Sifrei Torah. He wrote 400 Sifrei Torah. Now, it's hard to believe that anyone would live long enough to write 400 Sifrei Torah because it takes a really long time to write. However, the Rabbanan said to Rav Hamnuna that Rav Ami wrote 400. So Amalahu, Rav Hamnuna told him, Dilma Torah Tzivalenu Moshe Kosav. Maybe he wrote 400 times Torah Tzivalenu Moshe, but he didn't write the Sefer Torah. This is Taisvis. Dilma Torah Tziva, Vayim Rabbeinu Tam. The Oisei Pasuk Kari Torah. The Pasuk Torah Tziva Mon Moshe is called Torah, right? Kidamin and Perek Gimel de Sukkah. Cotton Hayadei Ledaber, Aviv Melambe Torah. My Torah, Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. That's the first thing you teach in beautiful places. The first thing you teach the child is the words Torah Tziva Lashon. So Rav Hamnuna told the Chacham, and he wrote 400 Torahs. Yeah, he wrote 400 times Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. Amle Rava le Reb Zera, not the Reb Yanai Arba Meir Karmei. Says the Rava to Reb Zera, Reb Yanai planted 400 vineyards. Again, that's a tremendous guzma. So Reb Zera told Rava, Dilma Shtayim Keneged Shtayim, V'achad Yoitze Zanav. Okay, we're speaking about going back from war. If a man planted a kerem and he hadn't harvested yet, he goes back from war. And the Gemara in Saita tells us how will we go ahead and ascertain what a kerem is? Guys, picture a 4 on a die. Picture, 4 on a die, and one, then a dot in between the latter. So you have, guys, look, dot, and then a dot over here. Dot, like a 4, like a die, and then a dot over here. That's called a kerem. So maybe he went ahead and planted 400 of those. That's called a kerem. Maybe he planted 400 of those, but there's no way that he planted mamish 400 kramim. Okay. Mesive, that you say that what? That the Sefer Torah, the hekef, has to be 6. Now, guys, we're going to have a very, 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 very long-winded brisa, okay? Good? And somewhere in the brisa, we're going to see that it can't be 6 tefachim, okay? The height can't be 6 tefachim. Okay, so now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see a chart. I'm going to do this outside. I think it'll make things much, much, much easier. Make things much, much easier. Six tefachim. 6 tefachim? But this is a tefach. This is a tefach, 6 to that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I sent out today. Yeah, that chart. Oh, you have it? Are we looking at Kenny, are we looking at the numbers? Okay, good.
Perfect.
Okay, here's the given. Here's the given. Reb Meir says an amma is 6 tefachim. An amma is 6 tefachim, so that would be about 2 feet, 24 inches, or 1.5 feet. The Aron fellas was 2.5 by 1.5. So you can see this clear. Is it large enough on the chart? Large enough? Good. So the Aron was 2.5 and 1.5. So now, if you go ahead and you make the cheshbon. Okay. So again, the Aron was 2.5 by 1.5. So 6 times 2.5 is 15. 6 times 1.5 is 9. So that's in tefachim. So here you go, guys. So take a look on the left. 15 tefachim across. Okay, so this is the Aron. 15 tefachim across, 9 tefachim high. Everyone got that so far? Another given. The luchos was 6 by 6. 6 by 6. Good. So if you take the luchos and put them side by side, it takes up 12 tefachim of the Aron. It takes up 12 tefachim of the Aron. Each wall of the Aron, however, was a half. You got to take out half and half. So that's a total of 13. So you have 6, 12, and now you have 13. So that leaves you 2 extra tefachim in the Aron. Good? That leaves you 2 extra tefachim in the Aron. That takes care of the width, the height. Excuse me, the width, the length. What about the width? It's 9. So if it's 6 by 6, you're going to put 6 in there. You're going to be left over what? That's going to take up, be left over with 3. Good? However, you have a half and a half because of the what? The covering. I mean so therefore that's 6 and 1 is 7. So you have 2 left over. Good? So you have right. So you have 2 left over in both ways. You have 2 left over in its length and 2 left over in its width. Guys, you good?
Yes.
You see what I wrote in there? Reb Meir holds they put a Sefer Torah in there. That area, and that's going to be the problem. That's going to be the problem. How do you get a Sefer Torah in there? This whole thing is because of this. How to get a Sefer Torah in there? It's not going to fit. Good? So now, that's Reb Meir. There's another opinion. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says the Amma is 5 tefachim. So, again, 2.5 by 1.5. 5 times 2.5 is 12.5. 5 times 1.5 is 7.5. So the Aron is that they agree that so you only have 12.5 going across. You have 12. You have 12 is the 6 by 6, the 2 luchos. So you only have left over, right? You have left over a half. So you can have a quarter on, so basically you really get fetched. You only have a half left over. What? Underneath. Underneath. It was underneath. They put it in and they put the luchos on top of the broken luchos. Now, the width is 7.5. So 6, 7.5 leaves you 1.5. Good. Now, you're going to have you have a quarter. It says it leaves you over a quarter and quarter on each side. So therefore, a quarter and quarter is a half. So now you have 1 left over. Okay, so 6 is going to leave you 1.5, a half right? And now you put 2 amudim in these slots. You're going to be 2 amudim in these tefach slots. Like Rabbi Yehuda, guys, the Sefer Torah is going to be on the outside. Like Reb Meir, it's going to be on the inside. Okay, so you have the idea. Now we'll go through the Gemara. It'll go a lot easier. You have a certain idea, and we'll get to the kasha. There's Hashem. Okay, let's see what we got. Mesivei. You say that the Torah is 6 tefachim. Aron Soisha Moshe Amasayim v'chetzi Arko is 2.5. Gam v'chetzi Rachbai by 1.5. Yam v'chetzi Kamasai, and it was high 1.5. The Amma Bashisha tefachim. The Amma was made up of 6 tefachim. The Alucha is Archan Shisha. V'Rachban Shisha. They were square 6 by 6. But Oivin Shleisha, and its depth was 3. Munachas Keneged Archa Shalaran. Kamaluchas Eichlois. If you go ahead and put them in the Aron, how much are they going to eat up? Shnei Masa Tefachim. They're going to take up what? 12. Since you began with 15, you end up left over 3. Same in Tefach Chetzel Kaisel Zev, the Chetzel Kaisel Zev, the Shtayu Sham Shnei Tefachim. Sheven Sefer Torah Munach, that's where the Sefer Torah was kept. Shenemar, Ein Ba'arin Rak Shnei Luchos Avanim, Asher Niach Sham Moshe, My Ein Ba'arin Rak. So you have Ein Ba'arin and Rak. So Ein is a miyut, guys, and Rak is a miyut. Ein miyut achamiyut el the rabbis. You have one miyut, one after another miyut. What does it come to do? It comes to go ahead one and the rabbis. The rabbis say for Torah shemunach ba'arin. Now, just as a side point, this is what did they do with that Torah? What did they do with that Torah? That Torah was used. They'd lain on Yom Kippur, right? And they used that. That was the paradigm for all Torahs, and they had to take it out. Nimsa, they would go in, open the oven, and take the Sefer Torah out when they needed to.
Every year.
Well, let's see Taisvitz. This is fascinating. What? No, but no. This is the Sefer Torah in the oven. This is the one we showed on. We said 15, and we had two tefachim left over. We put the Torah in there. So like Reb Meir, huh? This is my Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu. The Kohen Gadol would read from it, but nowhere on the avoid of Yuma does it say anything about opening up the Aron and take out the Sefer Torah. No one doesn't say that. So that's talk about an expensive psichas Aron.
The Spidey's were on it.
Okay, maybe guys, that might be a source of psicha, right? And look at this Taisus, fellas. Fascinating Taisus. So you say for Torah Yaitzav Nichtas Kashu Dachuk. In other words, according to this, we left over that the Sefer Torah should be able to come in and out easily. In Taimar, they would never take it out of the Arin. The Asali Kanes Bebayis Kache Kedoshim can't go in there. We don't find to say the Yuma they took it out. So what does it mean? I jumped the gun that they took the Sefer Torah out. It says right? Shari, they hear this to fix the Torah be permitted. If there's a tzarich, you can go into the Kachik Kadashim and take it out. The Kanes by Kachik Kadashim Kedamin be'ervin. V'achanami yichon likanes sham kedei letakin Sefer Torah kedei shlo yisafesh. It shouldn't get wormy. It shouldn't get ruined. V'yiskalkel. V'gam mishacharev mishkan shiloi at shebana shlomo v'es hamikdash hayichon lahaitzi min ha'arin lion boy. They could open the oven and take it in.
Who would do that?
No. We saw that they would put people down. They put people down into the base of Mikdash and the Kachik Kadashim to fix it up. So if there's a tzarich, you're able to do it. We had the Shaila of Me'ilah, B'Re'iyah, right? So again, it's expanding your horizons of understanding. Like again, if you need to go in, they'd go in and take it out. They go in and take it out. It's a fascinating idea. Again, you're learning something new. That what? Yes. Now we learned the Gemara. The Gemara said that they would lower people down there to fix up the place, but they went in. They went in. So if you need the Torah to go ahead and take the Torah out, they went in. That's what Tosh is telling you. That's what Tosh.
Open up the area they were still
Again, for the need, yeah, they would take it out. Not only they would open up the Arin. They would open it up. I guess I don't know, once every I don't know how many years. I don't know, but again, it's necessary to just lying there by natural forces. Even though this is a very unnatural place, right? You guys, you see, the Gemara says that the Torah should come out b'doichik. If the Torah never came out, then what's the Gemara going to say? You have to deal with the Gemara. So again, I jumped the gun because I was excited about this, but let's see the Gemara. So you see that there was a Torah in the Aron, according to Reb Meir. Okay. Sefer, what?
You can put it back into.
Yes, yes. That's where it was kept. Sefer Torah shemunach ba'arin parnasasas accounted for arin la'archai. Seu parnas arin l'roich. Okay, so now you took care of the arin. You took care of the arin's length. What about its width, according to Reb Meir? So that's 9, right? Kama luchais archleis barin sheish tvachim nishtayir sham shleishet tvachim. 9 minus 6 is 3. Same and tefa ketziv l'kaisel zechaz l'kaisel nishtayir sham shtei tvachim shleishet sefer Torah nichnas v'yaitzik shudachik. Right. So you had a little extra that it should go in and out. Right. A little extra should go in and out. The Reb Meir, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, ba'ama bas chamisha tfachim, ba'luchas archen shisha, ba'rachman shishva. So now it's 12 and a half minus 12. Ba'avyon shleisha, munachas ba'archa shal arin, kamaluchas eichleis ba'arin, shnei masa tfachim, nishtayir sham, chatzi tefach, etzpa l'kaisel zeh, etzpa l'kaisel zeh. Really, it's only a quarter. Parnasas are on the archa, tzeu parnas are on the rachbai, kamaluchas eichleis, change the gersa, ba'arin sheish tfachim. Nishtayir sham tefach mechza. You have 1.5. Same man chatzi tefach etzbo mechza kaisel zeh. V'etzbo mechza kaisel zeh. Nishtayir sham tefach. Sheboya amudim oimdim. They had amudim stand in the aron. That is amudim. Shenemar. And now, how do you know that what they were amudim? What's the source that they were amudim? Apirya asaloya melech shloimo. Apirya, and a glorious thing Shlomo made me'atzei halvanoin from cedar wood. Amudav asa kesef. If you dasei zov. Okay, now, what was this stand used for? They made these amudim. What was it used for? And again, remember, like Rabbi Yehuda, there is no room for anything else in the Aron. There's no room for anything else in the Aron, correct? So now, what did they use? What they put on this amud? The argaz sheshigru plishtim doron l'kei Yisrael munach mitzidai. We had in Shofnim, there's an incident where they stole the Aron. The Plishtim was there for 7 months. They had Groised Tsaris. They sent it back with a chest with golden mice and golden other things in there, and it was sent back. You're in your dock, yeah. and that argaz was kept on that homage. Okay, that was kept there. Shenemar. That's klei azov asher heshaftem loy asham tasimu ba'argaz mitzidai v'shilachtem oisai v'holach v'olav, and on the argaz of the Plishtim, the Sefer Torah munach, Moshe's Torah was munach there. So Rabbi Yehuda, it's on the outside. Shenemar l'koyach, guys, look at the pasuk. L'koyach haSefer Torah azeh v'samtem oisai mitzad orin bris Hashem. It says mitzad. So Rabbi Yehuda learns mamish mitzad the Aron itself on the outside. V'loy b'soichai. Mitzad, it was on the side munach. V'loy b'soichai, but not inside. U'monin mekayim ein ba'aron rak. What about the miyat after miyat that said Rabbi Meir is coming to include the Sefer Torah? Rabbi Yehuda also has that miyat miyat, and there's nothing else inside. Again, that there's something else inside the Aron besides the luchais. Mendi, what were they? The broken luchais. Says the Gemara, that is l'rabbis amid beis, l'rabbis shivei luchais. That was to go ahead and include the shivei luchais, that the shivei luchais were kept in the Aron. Now, we bring this whole thing in, right? Just for now, right? V'sal kedaitach, Sefer Torah hekifu vav tfachim, Michti, kol sheyesh be'kefoi shloishet tefachim, yesh by roichiv tefach. Anything that has in its circumference 3 tefachim has in its roichiv a tefach. So what do you have now, guys? We have 6 tefachim. So we have the hekef is 6 tefachim, correct? So how much is the diameter? How much is the length is going to be? It's going to be 2. The kivin dila Mitziasai Niglal, since the Torah was rolled to the beginning, Nafishle Mitrei Tafcha Reva, the Beni, right? So betray Pushre Hechi Yosef. So guys, You have a Sefer Torah. Guys, look, view it this way. A Sefer Torah, we have 2 tefachim. That's what we have. We only have 2 tefachim, right, to play with. You went ahead, you rolled it up, and now you're going to have what? It was 6 in Gansen. You're going to roll up. It's going to have 2, right? Because 3-to-1 ratio. So if it's 6, it's going to be 2. But since it was rolled in the middle, this way Rashi learns, you have in the extras, the space. So how's it going to fit in that space? Light Reb Meir that said it was in the Aron. This is the only Light Reb Meir who said it was in the Aron proper. And you only had 2 tefachim to play with. If the Sefer Torah is rolled up in the middle, you have more than 2 tefachim. That's the reason we brought all of this in. So it's fascinating.
It's in the proportion.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. You know, it's important. I told you, you're going to bring in a whole brisa just for that one line. So now it doesn't fit. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, who was seen to be an expert, because he was the one who was nifta making the Sefer Torah, and they gave him the ayin hara. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Sefer Azara, the Tchilasei hu niglal. The Sefer of the Azara, Rashi, Sefer Azara, Sefer Shekos of Moshe, Uboy Korim Ba'Azara, Parshas HaMelech B'Hakel, the Kohen Gadol B'Yom Kippur. The Kohen Gadol read from it in Yom Kippur, and the Hakel, the king read from it in Hakel, right? That was the Tchilasa hu niglal. It was what? It was rolled up to the beginning. It was, in other words, it didn't have, guys, it did not have 2. It only had 1. Again, because you don't need, you're only going to use it with the Rimagashit's Geschmack. You're only going to use it this one time. You're only use it this one time. So again, it's not Tircha de Tzibura, right? Again, it's Tircha de Tzibura. Again, he's going to learn Sefer Devarim. I'm saying that, I guess you could, what?
In Saxon Megillah, it says, you read, and then he said, Yosem is there.
Yeah.
And but because of Terchet Tzibur, that's why you say it.
Yeah, so maybe the beginning parsha, this is the beginning parsha, Achrei Mos.
Right.
The Pinchas, Achrei Mos, they did learn from the Sefer Torah. Pinchas, they didn't.
Right, but with no problem of Terchet Tzibur, if you're moving it from the beginning already, why even bring
I guess the starting point. I guess the starting point, once you got to that point already, is a tircha to wait. Okay. Okay, so now, it said that this had only what? It didn't have 2 amudim. It only had what? It only had 1. It only had 1. And it would be, you go from the beginning to the end. And now, so the roichiv was 2 tefachim. Guys, what was the problem? Guys, what was the problem? If it's 6 in its circumference, it's 2. And if it's 6, it's 2, right? 3. Our problem was if it's 2 poles, then you have the middle. So if it's all rolled up to the beginning, you don't have that problem. So it's a perfect fit. So that's the Gemara's teretz. It was nigla. Bakati trey betray hechi yasiv. How could you fit it in? It's going to be stuck. Says Gemara, Amravashi, the karach be porta, the karach le'el. In other words, picture like this. You didn't roll it all the way. You rolled it almost all the way, and then you left over a little bit on top. So it loosened up the 2, and then so it fit in. In other words, if you rolled it all the way, it wouldn't fit in. But if you rolled it, let's say, almost 9/10, and you left over 10 on top, so then you could fit it in. Then you could fit it in. Very, very, very geschmack. Okay. That's fascinating sugya. Rabbi Yehuda, Mikame delese arga sefer Torah hechi avi Yosef. Now, Rabbi Yehuda says, where was the sefer Torah, guys? On the outside. Why was it kept on top of? The chest that the Pelishtim sent back. Until the Pelishtim sent the chest back, where was it? Where was it? Says Daf Nafik Minei. They had a board that came out. For Yosef Alave Sefer Torah, and they put a Sefer Torah on that. Now, how did we know there was Amid on the side? Because the pasuk said, "Vesklei Azav Asher Shatam Hashem Tisim Agus Mitzida." No. L'koyach Sefer Torah zeh. The Samta Oisai meets Sad Aron. So what does Reb Meir do with Sad Aron? Like Rabbi Yehuda, it's the Sefer Torah is on the side of the Aron, on the outside. Like Reb Meir, that's on the inside. So what is Reb Meir? Hai mitzara may avidlei, and we boile the misnach le mitzad le misnach bene luchos uloilam bigave minatzad. Guys, look the picture, right? Where's the Sefer Torah? You could have had the luchos on this side, luchos on this side, and the Sefer Torah in the middle. Sad means what? On the side of the luchos. He learns that sad that you put luchos, and then on the side of that, it's on the side of the aron. In other words, it's in the picture, right? You had luchos, Sefer Torah, aron. So it's inside aron, rather than what? Luchos, aron, luchos, Sefer Torah, luchos. Good. That's what you use it for. Remeya amudim hecha havikaime mibroi. Remeya amudim hechi havikaime mibroi. And amudim on the outside. Remeya shive luchos the muncha ba'arim minale. Since he uses that word to teach me the miyat that was inside, how do they know the shive luchos were inside? Shive luchos the muncha ba'arim minale. Nafgalei midr Rav Huna. Dam Rav Huna ma'idach siv. Shenikra sham shem Hashem tzvakos. Yoshev Akrum Alav. They took this out to the battle. That the luchos and shivei luchos were what? Placed in the aron. That the luchos and the shivei luchos, they were what? They were placed in the aron. That's what he knows. So that from that pasuk that is describing in Sefer Shmuel. Fred the Gemara, the Idach, and Rabbi Yehuda, who learns that miyat achamiyat, that shivei luchos was the aron. What does he do with the pasuk of Shem? And we boy live the Rabbi Yochanan. Dam Rabbi Yochanan Shmuel melamed shehashem v'chol kinuyav. That the shame of the 70 shemais shel Kadosh Baruch Hu munachem ba'aron. So again, the kinuyim Kael, Elikim, Svakos, Ekya, there's different names of Hashem. Reb Meir needs it for that, so how can he dash in the Shivei Luchos? Einachinami. Ella Shivei Luchos and Menachem Bar Minale. How does Reb Meir know Shivei Luchos? Since he needs the pasuk to teach me the Kinuyim were written and throw it in there as well. Nafle mit Tan Reb Yosef. Tan Reb Yosef, Asher Shibatam V'Samtam, says that the Moshe broke and you placed. What is everybody? Melame Shaluchos V'Shivei Luchos Minachem Be'aron. That you broke them and you placed them. You placed them in the aron. V'idach Rabbi Yehuda, what does he do with this pasuk of Shibarta v'Samtam? Ahumi boile Reish Lakish. He needs Reish Lakish's then. Dam Reish Lakish Asher Shibarta Amalei Hakadosh Baruch Hu LaMoshe Yisha Kaychaycha Shibarta. Yashukayach that you went ahead and you broke them. Yashukayach that you went ahead and broke them. Okay, now we digress more to discuss the Nevi'im and the Ksuvim. Just a very doesn't get any better than this, guys. Tanravarim. Sidron Shel Nevi'im. What's the order of the Nevi'im? Yeshua, Shoftim, Shmuel, Malachim, Yirmiyah, V'Yecheskel, right? V'Yeshaya, U'Shnei Masa. So that's a total of 8. Good, it's a total of 8. In the Nevi'im Rishonim, we call Yeshua, Shoftim, Shmuel, and Malachim, and Yirmiyah, Yecheskel, Yeshaya, and Shnei Masa are Nevi'im Achronim. Now, in the Nevi'im, Hosea is the first of the Treyasa, but Michti, Hosea Kodim, Hosea came first. Hosea, he's first, but he came before the other Nevi'im. But as we're going to see, he came first. Says the Gemara. Tchilas devar Hashem by Hosea. V'chim Hosea debar tchila. He wasn't the first Navi. Moshe rad Hosea kam Nevi'im hayu. Rabbi Yochanan shayit tchila la'aboyim Nevi'im. He was the beginning of the 4 Nevi'im. Shenisnavu boisa perek. Ve'eluhein. Who were the 4 Nevi'im at that time? Hosea, Yeshaya, Amos, Umicha. So why don't you go ahead and put him before Yeshaya? We said, guys, we give him the Seder, correct? And he's the first of the Treyasa, but he's listed after Yeshaya. But if you're telling me that you give him a Seder, he was the Snava before Yeshaya. So Kevin, since he said his Nevuah by Chagei Zechai Malachi, but Chagei Zechai Malachi Sleif Nevi'im Habe, you put him in Treyasa. Take him out of Treyasa, put him as a sefer by itself, and put him before Yeshaya. It says, I did this zuta since Hoshea is very short, very small, Mirka, so we get lost. Michti, Yeshaya Kodim Yirmiyah, V'chesem Olik Mele Yeshaya, Bereisha. So Yeshaya was Kodim from Yirmiyah and Yecheskel. So you should put Yeshaya before Yirmiyah and Yecheskel.
We do, right?
You look at the order.
That's what we do.
Right? What's our order?
Yeshaya.
It says it says no. We have Yirmiyah, Yecheskel, Yeshaya. We have this is the order that we have here. Keeping the Malachim Seifei Churbana, the Yirmiyah Kula Churbana. Since the Malachim was the end, it's the beginning of the Churban, and Yirmiyah was obviously that's whole. Yecheskel Reishi Churbana, the Sefer Nechemta, the Yeshaya Kula Nechemta, Samchina Churba LeChurba v'Nechemta LeChemta. Okay, that's we juxtapose the idea. And tomorrow we'll continue with some very more geschmacka. I got it. You love.
Don't worry.
Save the best for